Welcome to Good as Gold, hosted by Nick Grovich, a show dedicated to helping you understand precious metals and rare coins, how to avoid the pitfalls when buying, and how to understand the inner workings of the precious metals market. Now, here's the host of Good as Gold, Nick Grovich.
Hi, Nick Grovich back with you. We're live today, so please call in, ask me some questions. I get kind of tired of sitting here talking to myself. So, if you're out there, you have some questions, give me a call. Maybe somebody's offering you something on the phone. You don't know if it's a good deal. Maybe you bought something you're not too sure of. I just did a seminar. Where were we? In Florida? Tampa. We were in Tampa, Florida last week, and I did a seminar. And it's interesting, as you know, if you've been listening, I've been recommending the early date half-ounce gold eagles. So this gentleman said, gee, that's exactly what I just bought. And so he brought his list up, he showed me the list, and he did exactly what I warned you about, is just going to any retail dealer, any of these big salesmen, and just telling them you want half-ounce gold eagles and buying what they offer. Well, he spent $49,000 for coins that my normal retail price would have been about $29,000 on. So, and I would make a profit at $29,000. So, yeah, he got some decent coins, but he's got to see them go up, 70%? I didn't do the math, just to break even on the coins. The good news was he had only bought them 20 days before I saw him at the seminar, and he has a 30-day return policy. So, even if you bought something you're not sure of, I don't like to tell you to cancel deals you've done with other dealers. I mean, if it's a bullion deal and you bought it, by bullion, I'm surprised, a lot of people are confused when I say bullion. What bullion means, it's a gold or silver or platinum coin that the price is based on the content of the coin. So in other words, a gold eagle, it's a coin, but it's still 1 ounce of gold, and the price goes up and down dollar for dollar with the spot price of gold. So even though it's a coin, it's considered bullion. It doesn't have to be a bar to be considered bullions. But so if you locked in maple leafs or eagles or something like that, where it's strictly based on the price of the gold or the silver or the platinum, you really can't cancel those orders. Those are non-cancelable. That's the same thing as buying stock from your stockbroker, and then the stock market goes down and you call them a week later and say, oh, I changed my mind. You can't do that. But if you bought coins that are considered rare, coins that are numismatic, coins where they're charging you, I don't know that there's a percentage that matters, but 50%, 100%, over the price of gold or silver, those are generally considered returnable. You usually have a right of return on coins like that. So, again, I don't like to tell you to return coins. In fact, we're not supposed to tell you to return coins, but you know what? I worry about my clients more than I worry about the dealers. This client, like I said, he spent $49 for coins he could buy elsewhere for $20,000 less at retail. I'm not talking about he would have had to shop around and get a smoking deal to get those coins for $29,000. So I don't really feel like I need to protect that particular dealer. To me, that's just outrageous, charging almost $50,000 for $30,000 worth of coins. Then on top of it, telling the guy he's got a good investment. So, if you have a question, just call. I really enjoy answering questions, and I enjoy talking about anything you might want to talk about. If you're in the Phoenix area, it's 602-324-1510. If you're outside of Arizona, which I know I have some people out in California who listen, 800-293-5366. So if you have any questions, give me a call. I keep telling you that I think the market's changing, and that becomes more evident to me every day. It's really, really important in a changing market like this to review what you own. A lot of times I talk to you as if everyone owns coins. I guess it's just because that's what I base it on the phone calls I get. Most of the people that call me either already own coins or are thinking about dipping their toe in the water. But a large number of people that I talk to already have coins, or already talking to a dealer, or they might have dealers who call them 10 times a week trying to sell them something. It makes a lot of sense when the market's down the way it is right now. It's quiet. You have time. You have time to really take the information from a review and sleep on it. You don't have to make a decision overnight. You can afford to sit down, talk to your wife, your husband, your kids, or just think about it for a little while before doing anything. The problem with trying to reposition or take a really close look at your portfolio when the market's moving is you end up getting caught in the emotional situation where the market's moving. You don't want to beat it. You don't want to get left behind, and oftentimes you end up just doing something that out of haste that doesn't make sense. So it's really nice. I had a client. I did business with this client, I don't remember, 15 or 20 years ago, and he inherited some coins from his father, and so had a couple of his siblings. So, of course, they wanted him to be the guinea pig. I did business, so he felt comfortable, but his siblings, they don't really know who I was. They're very skeptical, and he made that point to me. He said, "Nick, it's so nice because I can send you my coins. We can take a couple weeks. We can do it the right way. I can give you time to do it. We're not so worried about the market running away." In his case, he traded out of a bunch of St. Gaudens and $20 Liberties, and he really wanted to get into the silver market. So the other thing that was nice about it is we didn't have to run out and buy the silver right away. And that was good because when he started this transaction, it was when silver was up over $18, about a month ago. And my gut feeling, as you know, is that we're more likely to see lower prices than higher prices right now. So we started selling his coins off while gold was still up. It was up close to $1,300 an ounce. And, we took a little gamble. I said, we might as well just wait and see if we get a little dip. Well, we had a dip, so we bought his silver under $17 an ounce. So it was nice. He got the benefit, the short-term benefit. He got the higher price on the gold. We paid the lower price on the silver. Again, it's not because we can read the future or, we know what's going on in the market. It's just we have the luxury of not having to rush because the market's fairly quiet right now. So we were able to get him a little bit more for his gold. He ended up with more silver than we expected to buy for him. So it made a lot of sense. And now he's positioned in something that every day all he has to do is turn on the TV or check on the internet, and he knows exactly what it's worth. He has X number of ounces of silver. He sees what it's worth. He doesn't have to worry about what his MS-65 St. Gaudens are worth. He doesn't have to worry about what his $5 Liberties are worth, and he's a lot more comfortable in the position he's in. So that's a long way around of telling you it's really important right now. It's really worth your while. Give us a call at American Federal. It's 480-553-5282. Let us do a review for you. It doesn't cost anything, and it's really quite valuable. Just, I'll let you know when I do this for institutions, I charge $500 an hour. So, if you have a good-sized portfolio, I'm saving you $500 or $1,000 because it does take a lot of time, a lot of effort to do that. It's something I'm offering you. It's my gift to you for being a listener. And take a look. Maybe you like what I say, maybe you don't. But if you don't like it, you don't have to do anything about it. But at least you'll have a second opinion about where you stand. So give us a call. Get a review. When I come back, we'll talk about some of the things going on in the market, some of the things I can do for you. And I'll try and give you some other ideas you can take hold of.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Nick Grovich back with you, and someone actually listened to me. I think we have a caller on the line, Steve.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Steve?
Very good. I've been in the precious metals market for about a dozen years now.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to get in early at gold about 430 and silver around 6.
Terrific.
And I bought, I bought pretty steadily up through about the 2009-2010 time frame, and then I got out
Okay,
in
good.
11 and 12, sold off.
Terrific.
So I walked away with a decent profit, even at some of the exorbitant margins
Yeah,
that I
great.
paid on some of my products. But I've been listening to several different precious metal shows, gold shows,
Right.
and honestly, I think for everybody out there, and I don't know you,
No, I don't. No.
in my opinion, you are given absolutely the best information out of anybody I listen to.
Well, thanks, Steve.
No problem. I listen to most of the other shows that are on different channels, and I just laugh because, like I said, I started buying at a very low price.
Right.
I watched the market go up, and I got deeply involved in the market, and I know a load of bunk from the truth. And
Right.
I can honestly say that you're calling it the way it needs to be called.
Well, I really appreciate that, Steve. I really do.
Absolutely.
It's hard. Everybody wants to make a profit, and sometimes I think guys get more carried away with their bottom line than giving you honest advice. And I'm too dumb to lie, I guess. I won't remember what I told you if I lie about it.
Right. Well, this is the time frame when you really need to be careful, because in the period where I was purchasing from 2003 up to 2010, you pretty much couldn't go wrong in a lot of cases. It was the charmed experience at the time, but now I'm much more wary and have to be real careful. So I still have a significant portion of what I purchased, and I definitely made a profit. And I'm ahead on most of what I continually own, but obviously it's significantly down from the highs.
Yeah, right.
But now is the time when you really the people that are bloviating about $5,000 gold and $100 silver, which is what they were doing.
Yeah, right. That's right.
It's just not going to fly.
No, you got in at just the right time, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think they can buy in. The market's going to take off right after they buy, and people don't realize it doesn't happen that often. If you time it right, it's great, but otherwise you really have to be careful what you do.
I agree. It's highly unlikely that I'll ever get an opportunity like that in the remainder of my lifetime to see 500-600% gain in a few years, and then be able to sell at a reasonable profit and do it the right way. I got lucky. Of course, on the other side of it, the housing market, I got destroyed. So in a lot of ways, it was a wash.
Yeah.
But that's the way it works.
Well, at least you were able to make it up. At least you had a diversification, so you lost it on one side and made it back. So hopefully it came out to your benefit a little bit. But that's the whole idea, really. That's the whole idea of diversifying.
I guess if I really were to look at the numbers, it'd probably make me sick. So let's not do that. Let's just be happy for what went right.
Yeah, I have a few of those myself. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So.
Well, Steve, thanks. That really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it.
Certainly. If I'm when I'm looking to get back into the market, I'm mostly in cash right now. I'm staying on the sidelines. I'm not messing with any of the markets at all. When I'm looking to get back in, you'll definitely be the person I call.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate your comments.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Steve.
Have a good day.
Okay, bye. Wow. That was pretty nice, Steve. I really do appreciate that. But, Steve makes a really good point. People, I don't have anybody in mind, but if you listen to a lot of these I don't know if I call them dealers, newsletter writers, promoters, it's hard because if you don't promote something, you don't sell anything, and you have to sell or buy or do something to stay in business. And it's kind of a fine line that as a dealer, if you take it seriously, you have to walk a fine line. I just talked to an old friend of mine yesterday who actually worked for another dealer, and there were many, many times over the last 30 years I would have loved this particular gentleman to come to work for me, but I just couldn't promise him the big commissions he was making somewhere else because I simply I don't sell coins and make 40 or 50 or 70% profit on it. I mean, you know, I work on 3%, maybe up to 10 or 15% on rare coins. And it was funny because I didn't realize, but he hasn't been in the market. He hasn't been a broker or a salesman, whatever you call, for quite some time. And he said he quit because he just got tired of covering the boss's butt all the time. So you know, there just comes a point where I think even the guys who are making a lot of money, they just get tired of telling stories just to make a commission check. But anyway, that does bring me back. It's a good time. You know, there's so many. I don't even call them dealers, salesmen out there, and you know, I don't want to say they're crooks, because I mean, there's a couple crooks out there. But there's a lot of guys, they just hype it because that's how you sell things. You scare people, you hype them, you tell them about reason, you know, tell them the reasons they have to do what you want to sell. They have to buy what you want to sell. And you know, it's surprising to me how many people get caught up in that. You know, every now and then I'll meet with somebody who's you know, a real collector. I mean, really knows what's going on. And I'll be going through their portfolio, and I'll see something from a particular dealer, and I say, well, how'd you end up with this? And he goes, yeah, I know, they got me at a weak point, they gave me a good pitch. And so these salesmen are really good. But, you know, right now, there's opportunities in the market if you want to be in the market. I kind of agree with Steve. I mean, I think the real easy money in the bullion markets is, you know, it might be coming a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years. I don't know. You just never know when it's gonna take off again. I've said many times, if you look at it, you know, in 35 years, we've only had 2 major run-ups. So to jump in there and just think it's going to be easy and you can just buy any coin that a dealer is selling and make money, boy, you're gonna have a really expensive lesson to learn if you do it that way. So if you're in the market, I'm not trying to talk you out of buying gold and silver or platinum or whatever it is. I think it's worth having. I think it's worth having it as a hedge. I think if you want to invest in it, I think there's ways you can invest and really reduce your risk. So at least you're not gambling with a lot of money. You know, investing is about not losing money sometimes. I always hear people say, if I just had the money I invested, I'd be in great shape. And it's really, in the coin market, so many times I meet people and all they're trying to do is break even. So, you know, I joked with a gentleman last week. I said, he told me the coins he was going to buy. And I said, you know, you'd be better off, just give me $5,000 now, make on you bought them, and just, then you don't have to go through all the hassle and all the heartbreak. Just give me the $5,000, I'll keep it, we'll call it even, you're done. And probably be cheaper for a lot of people to just do that and be told not to buy anything. You know, one thing I do want to talk about as we go forward here, I'm probably not going to do this today, but I really want to talk about platinum and palladium. I think this market, I think we're in a whole new market. The trends have changed. I've said this every week probably for the last 2 months. And I really want to talk about platinum and palladium a little bit. I think that may be one of the areas that if you're willing to take a little bit of risk, that there might be some money to be made over the next 5 years. I'm not prepared really today to talk about that, but hopefully next week or the week after I will. You know, There's something else that we offer at American Federal called our Preferred Client Program. So if you're interested in getting better buys, in other words, if you want to buy as things become available, we have a Preferred Client Program. You should call the office and get signed up on that. We can help you on this program whether you're buying or selling. What we do, I mean, I'll give you a good example. We're going to stop for a break, so I might have to cut this short. But just for example, a few weeks ago, we bought a fairly large, it was real close to $1 million worth of gold. It was gold eagles, a lot of St. Gaudens, which I don't usually recommend. And it's something that I'm going to have to get, and I'm just going to have to dump it in the market. It's something I'm not going to sit on St. Gaudens. I'm not going to sit on the gold eagles. But through the Preferred Client Program, I was able to sell a lot of this to my clients for reduced prices, and they really benefit by doing that.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Okay, Nick Grovich, I'm back with you. You know, I try and keep this program let me rephrase that. I try to not make it really self-serving, although really, honestly, that's what I'm here for, is to let you know about me and my company, American Federal. The one thing I will tell you, the reason that I don't mind promoting myself, besides the fact I want to stay in business, is I know you're going to get a better deal from me. I know you're going to get an honest deal. I know you're not going to talk to a broker that's going to, sell you $1 million worth of coins that are worth $500,000. You don't know that maybe because you haven't dealt with me, but you could call 100 of my clients, and I think you'd get pretty much the same story as what I think Steve just said a little while ago. One of the programs that you can sign up for, there's no cost for it. It's called the Preferred Client Program, and the reason I started that is we're on the road an awful lot. Don at my office, Don Gauze, he's on the road probably 2.5, 3 weeks a month. I used to be on the road 3 weeks a month. And, after 30 years, I just got tired of it. So I'm gone maybe a week a month, although lately it's been more than that. But we buy an awful lot of material. Probably the bulk of what I buy are coins that I really wouldn't suggest to most people. A lot of times I buy silver, I buy gold bullion, and it's coins that a lot of my clients actually would like. So the idea that I had was, if I go out and let's say I buy 100 gold eagles, well, if I bring them back to the office, I'm going to treat it the same way your stockbroker. You sell stocks, your stockbroker is going to take them, he's going to call the market, he's going to sell them in the market, take his commission, and move on. I do the same thing with gold, St. Gaudens, a lot of those types of coins. I'm going to take them back into the market, resell them. They're going to be recycled, and somebody down the line is going to retail them back to someone else. But when I bring back certain items, like eagles, even St. Gaudens, which I'm not a huge fan of, I'm taking those coins and I'm having to sell them in the market. So I'm going to have to sell them to another dealer at some point along the line or into the market at the market price. So if I can sell those coins to my clients instead, we're saving that wholesale spread, that difference between the bid and ask. We're saving that spread. We're buying the coins a little cheaper, and I'm saving on gold. It might be 1 or 2%, so it's not huge, but that's that's an item we only make 3% on. So saving 1 or 2% is pretty darn good on that. On something like St. Gaudens, you could save 10, 15, 20% from what retail prices are. So we pass that on when I have something I need to dump it in the market anyway. I just assume sell it to my clients, and then they're getting a good deal. I'm selling something I at a price I can be really proud of, and I can pay the person selling the coins a little bit more. Everybody comes out ahead. So even if you have coins that you want to sell, depending what they are, it's something I can offer my clients and possibly pay you a little bit more if you work with me. I had a really interesting story. Well, this was a couple of years ago. It reminded me of the Old West. The mortgages due and the Snidely Whiplash is riding into town to foreclose on the ranch. This gentleman had an apple orchard up in Washington. I've been to his house several times. And he had, I don't remember the exact numbers anymore, but let's say he had 100 or 150 boxes, monster boxes of silver eagles. Now, I don't know if you can picture that, but these boxes weigh about 35 pounds each. So the logistics of the deal were just overwhelming. I couldn't figure out how we were going to move that many boxes of silver. And he called me. He said, "Nick, I've got a problem. I have to come up with, I don't remember the amount. I think it was in the range of $300,000. And he had 24 hours to come up with the money, or they were foreclosing on his orchard. And he didn't realize the day had come, the whole story. He didn't really realize the next day was a do or die kind of situation. So I ran to my bank. Luckily, I'd done a lot of business with this gentleman, so I was able to front the money before we actually sold the coins. So we got the money up to him. Actually, before I even got the silver, he had my $300,000 in his bank account. And we flew up to Washington. We got the coins. I immediately wrote a quick email to all my clients. It was a good story. It was true. I told them they could, if they were looking for silver, they could help me out. I could give them a little better price. We were actually helping a client save his apple orchard. And, so everybody, again, I don't remember the exact numbers anymore, but he got a little bit more for his silver. Anybody who was looking for silver at the time, they probably saved 75 cents to $1 an ounce because of the way we did it. I got my money back within a matter of a few days, so I was happy. I made a few percent on the trade, but everybody came out ahead on that deal, and that was through my preferred client program. I was able to offer his items to the rest of my clientele at a reduced price. So that's the beauty of the preferred client program. Occasionally, I get coins that I think are a really good buy. I'll offer those to my preferred clients first. My preferred clients get all my recommendations first. If there's something I think you should sell, for example, on I talk about the better date half-ounce gold eagles. My preferred clients are going to find out first, because the last thing I need to do is tell the general public, hey, the 1991s are going for $3,000, and have so many of them hit the market that I can't sell my clients out of their position. So my clients, my preferred clients, they get all the information first, and everybody else gets it secondary. So, call the office. Again, that number is 480-553-5282. If you're out of the Phoenix area, it's 800-221-7694. And, give that a try. You'll get a special section on my website, too, where we have reduced prices. We have, special coins. Sometimes there's coins I don't have enough to offer everybody, but my preferred clients are going to get that. So if you really want some good service and some preferred prices, call the office, get on it. If you don't like it, you just hit the unsubscribe button and you're back off the list. So, it's funny. I see on TV, I watch the TV salesman every now and then. And I saw they were selling silver eagles, and he was selling them. He kept saying he's going to give you the millionaire's price. And his millionaire's, he's got a lot of expense being on TV. So his millionaire's price, it wasn't bad, but it was probably 10% higher than what my normal price was. The key is when you buy, especially if you're buying something like St. Gaudens, you got to be treated like a 1%er. You can't be a pedestrian, be out there just paying the going price. You want to get treated like a 1%er, and that's how you're going to get the best price. The other trade that I was telling you about were St. Gaudens, which, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of the St. Gaudens. They just don't have the liquidity that you get in gold eagles or Krugerrands or any other bullion-related coin. But in this case, a lot of people like St. Gaudens right now because the premiums are really low. And premium, by the way, because people always ask me what I'm talking about, premium is the amount that you pay over and above the value of the intrinsic metal. So a St. Gaudens has just under an ounce of gold. So today, let's say it's give or take about $1,150 worth of gold. Wholesale on an MS64 St. Gaudens about $1,350 to $1,370. But if you check around town, call some of the big dealers around town. They're going to probably charge you $1,800 to $2,000 for that coin. So the argument is, well, the premium's low. And yeah, it's low. It's been coming down steadily for 20 years. 20 years ago, if you bought an MS64 St. Gaudens, you were paying more than double the price of gold. So if gold was $1,000, it probably would have cost you $2,000, $2,200. Now the premium is down to roughly 10%. So at $1,200 gold, you're paying another $120. So the idea behind it is some people think that because the premium is so low that the market will go back to a higher premium and there's a profit to be made there. Now, just to be clear, I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a lot of other factors involved. I'm not going to go into it because it'd take me another hour to explain the whole thing, but I personally don't think the premium is going to go back up because there's just so darn many of them around. But like I said, opinions are what makes a market, and other people think that the premium's going up. So if you can buy it at the real premium, if it's a 10% premium, but you're paying a 50% premium after you pay a dealer's commission, you're not really taking advantage of the premium. So you got to get the 1%er's price. So with these St. Gaudens, when we sold them, again, they were coins I bought from an investor. It was out of a trust, and I had to get rid of the coins. There were 200 MS64s, which quite frankly, if I just hit bids, I probably could have dropped the price $200 with 200 coins. I mean, if you own St. Gaudens, that has to be scary to you, that 200 coins could completely destroy that market. So we offered those coins for just under $1,400 a coin. Wholesale was $1,355. That was bid, and ask was $1,415. So what that means is, if I needed to dump them in the market, I could get $1,355 with no problem. And if another dealer needed to buy the coins, in other words, if they went in the wholesale market to buy coins, they could buy the coins for $1,415. So I offered them to my clients, I think I charged $1,398. It's kind of an odd number. So they were actually buying them for less than what dealers were paying, the dealers who needed the coins were paying. So the reason I thought that was a good deal, if you like to play that premium, is you're buying them at the same price that dealers are paying for the coins. So you didn't have a big spread to make up. Now, what's funny is I had some clients call their dealers, and they said, well, you know, so-and-so is selling them for $1,800, but their bid is $1,600. Well, I guarantee you their bid's not really $1,600, or they'd have been buying them from me for $1,400. What they do is they make their bids add up with what their asking price is. And we're coming up on another break. I'll explain that briefly, and then I'll move on from this subject a little bit. But they decide how much they want to make, and then they back out what their supposed bid is.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Okay, Nick Grovich, I'm back with you. I know I'm talking about a lot of different things today. I think it's all important, obviously, or I wouldn't bother telling you about it. I've just been out of town an awful lot lately. I've been in California quite a bit. But the reason I'm telling you about these St. Gaudens, just for example, this is something, if you're buying rare coins or semi-rare coins, you really need to be aware of what happens in the market, because I don't want to say it's shady, but I do know one dealer went to jail for taking this to extremes. He would publish prices. This was way back in the 80s, early 80s, before there was PCGS and NGC. And what this dealer would do is he would sell, at the time he was selling mostly Morgan dollars and Walking Liberty half dollars, that type of thing. And he would publish the prices. He would say, this is, here's the bid and the ask. And they were just basically prices he was making up. They had nothing to do with the real market. But he made sure that if you bought coins, that if you looked at his pricing sheet, that you were making a certain percentage every year. And it's kind of like the Wall Street Ponzi schemes. They just keep telling everyone, oh, you're making 20%, you're making 30%. Before you know it, you've got more money coming at you than you know what to do with. So, I mean, if you were in on it in the beginning, you probably made really good money on it. But like every Ponzi scheme, they come crashing down. So what he would do is just arbitrarily raise the prices of all the coins that he was selling. But he would always say, here's my bid. So if you want to sell them back, I'll pay X. And like any scheme, as long as you were in the beginning and he had more buyers coming in the front door, you actually made profits. I saw some people that made enormous profits on it, even though the market at the time hadn't moved one penny since they bought the coins. But what he would do, like I said, he would just work it out so that no matter what you bought from him, it would look like you made 15% every year. And I don't know how many millions and millions of dollars he was doing at the end, but in the end, it crashed down on him. He had to come back into the real market. But dealers do this. What they'll do is, let's suppose your dealer is saying, well, I'll sell you a $20 St. Gauden, it doesn't matter the grade, MS64 for $2,200. And the first thing most people will ask is, well, what's your spread? What if I sell it back to you today, what do I get? Well, darn well he doesn't want to tell you you're going to get $1,400 if you sell it back to him, because no rational person's going to buy it as an investment and buy a $1,400 coin for $2,200. So they'll say, well, we're working on a 10% spread or 15, whatever the number is that they're claiming. So you pay $2,200, they're going to pay you, give or take, about $2,000 for it. So then they go a step farther and they want to start publishing what their prices are. So they're selling it for $2,200. They've got their profit built in there, but because they're telling you it's a 10% spread, they're forced into putting their bid on. I guess what does it come out to? $1,980 for a 10% spread. So their bid it's not a real bid. It's just a number they're putting up there to confirm what they're telling you is their spread. Now what happens, you decide to go back to them. And I run into this all the time, and these St. Gaudens I was talking about is a perfect example. I had live coins. I had coins that I delivered for $1,400, and yet one of the dealers is telling his client, oh, no, we pay $1,600 for them. And I said, well, that's great. You could buy all 200 coins from me for $1,400 and turn around and sell them to him for $1,600. The problem is, this dealer is not a yokel. He knows he's on the same, we're all on the same exchanges. There's not that much that's secret in the coin market anymore. He knows the same people I know. He's probably buying from the same people that I know. I'm probably selling the coins to the guy that he's buying them from. So he knows that he can go buy that coin for $1,400. He knows that. This isn't a big secret. So the first thing that happens, this gentleman calls them and says, okay, I've got 200 coins. I'll sell them to you for $1,600. Oh, well, they can't buy those coins because they didn't sell the coins to the guy. They can only buy the coins they sold, which, if you think about it, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I'm in business. I'll buy a coin. I don't care where you bought it. Why does it matter who you bought it from if I'm going to buy the coin? It's worth a certain price it doesn't matter who you bought it from. It's PCGS graded or NGC graded. It's worth a certain amount of money no matter where it came from. So that's the first clue. But they do that to make it look like their prices are more reasonable. I had another situation just 2 weeks ago. This was with some rarer coins, some early date $20 Liberties, and I think there might have been 2.5 Indian coins in there. I valued it, there's some coins in there were hard to value, but I valued it between $27,000 to $35,000. I hadn't seen the coins, that's why there was a little gap in what the value was. They told the client that it was worth $96,000. And I said that's impossible. I mean, even if you look at the PCGS retail price, PCGS publishes what they consider their retail price. They tell you where they get it. To me, I'm not sure it makes a lot of sense. But in general, if you look at a lot of the PCGS retail prices, if you knock 40% off of that, that's probably what the coins are really worth. That's what they really trade for between knowledgeable dealers or knowledgeable collectors. And the PCGS retail price was $76,000, and they're trying to convince this gentleman that it's really worth $96,000. Now look, there's a big difference between $35,000 and $96,000. Now maybe I get lucky, and maybe they're really nice coins. Maybe I find the ultimate buyer. Maybe instead of 35, I get 40 or 42,000 for it. Maybe I get lucky, but that's still a far number from $96,000. The reason they had to tell them it was $96,000 is because they had to come up with a price that justified what they're selling coins for. And you're going to know very, very quickly if your dealer is going to really honor that price. All you have to do is say, how soon am I going to get the check, and are you going to confirm this? Are you going to give me a confirmation number on it? And what usually happens is they'll say, well, first we have to send you by mail the offer. So then you get an offer in the mail that's dated, let's say it's dated today, but you're not going to get it for 3 days, and then there's a disclaimer on the bottom that the offer was only good the day they wrote it up. Well, you can never get a real offer because they won't send it to you by fax or email. They will only mail it to you. So no matter when you get that offer, it's always 3 days old. So then they want you to send the coins to them. Basically, they're going to put roadblocks up so that you can't sell them back the coins. And if you do send them the coins, then the coins are going to sit there for a year and you end up getting them back. Or they'll give you the $96,000, but only if you take other coins and trade. Well, that's like trading in a car. Yeah, we'll give you $50,000 for your old car, but our new car is $100,000. They're just going to hide it. They're going to make money on it. Unless you can get something in writing that says we will pay you X number of dollars within a certain time period. I mean, it's not unusual for them to ask for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You get something like that that guarantees you the price. It's a guaranteed price. It's not, we're gonna try to sell them for this if the moon aligns with the stars. It's not real, and it makes it really hard because you're going to think that these are actual offers, and if you read the fine print, they're not offers. They're telling you what they think the coin's value is, and value is a really complicated word somehow when it comes to coins, because to some people, value is what they'll sell it for. To some people, it's the listed value in Coin World magazine or Coin Dealer newsletter. To me, the value is what the coins actually will sell for, what they'll sell for between knowledgeable people. And the reason I say knowledgeable people, if they get a hold of somebody who doesn't know anything and they sell them for $100,000 and they're only worth $20,000, yeah, they sold them for that, but it's just because they charged somebody too much. It's not because the guy knew he was getting a value. So you just have to be really, really careful if you're dealing in the rare coin market. I would tell you, if you're in rare coins at all, give me a call. Let me do a real evaluation for them. If somebody's offering you coins, rare coins or bullion coins or graded coins, call me and let me tell you what the real value of those are.